What's going on, guys? It's Chris, SVT Garage, and we have another 03, 04 Cobra video for you guys. Kind of was going around the shooting some ideas of doing another video, and I kind of landed on what I believe your first top 5 modifications for this car would be, or just the top 5 in general, whether it's the first or just in general the top 5 for these cars. And the reason why I'm getting into that is I've owned a Cobra, an 03 Cobra, since 2009, and I started with a very basic build, really just cold air intake and a tune, to a 3.4 liter Whipple, full fuel system car. So I just want to kind of touch on that and maybe give you guys some ideas or my thoughts on what I think the first 5 should be or would be if I was to start over, or just getting into it. And hopefully you guys are either just bought one, looking to buy one, or saving to buy one. So these are fantastic cars to own. I started with the car stuff, obviously as a child, but I was mainly with the Fox body stuff. I still have a huge love for them cars. I really want to get another one. But for right now, I have just been dabbling in these new edges, especially the 03, 04 Cobras. I fell in love with them. I have the 2. I have one that's completely stock over there, and I have one that I have touched in every section I can. So I just want to get into that. Driving the car home, you just bought it. It might be stock, or it might have some stuff done to it, who knows. But let's start with what I think number 1 should be. As you guys can probably see over there, I'm hoping the camera's picking it up, is the height difference. They sit, in my opinion, ungodly high for a Mustang. It has like a 4x4 look going on. So if I was to start modding that thing, the very first thing I would do is put some suspension on it, which gets to my one of my talking points here, is because that's probably my most asked question on this car, is what's your suspension setup? And I kind of it makes me chuckle because I probably answered that question about 200 times through the YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Cobra pages, whatever. But let's get into that real quick, is what is my suspension setup? I am running a UPRK member, so whether you have the UPRK member or not, stock K member, you can have this exact setup, because it is a UPR on the front with the coilover setup that it comes with. And I actually lowered the front of this car to match the rear, because I love how that tucks on that quarter panel, how it just sits flush with that wheel. And my fenders are rolled, so you will have to roll the fenders if you're going to lower it this aggressive. But I did match the front to the rear, and that is a H&R race spring with no ISOs. So there's no cutting, there's really no modifications, just took the ISOs out, and this is what you get. Now if you were to have the H&Rs in the front, again, which is the race, it's the red ones, you took the ISOs out, you'd have this exact setup too. So for me, suspension would be number 1. And I think it changes the whole look of the car, gives that aggressive look. And you guys know already, these are super aggressive looking right off the rip. From the big front bumper, this hood is iconic. You got the painted mirrors, the side skirts, that, to me, the iconic wing in the rear, and then the wing with that rear bumper just really sets these cars apart from anything really going down the road, especially Mustang style. So touching on that, giving it that kind of matching the aggressive look with the aggressive appearance, that would be number 1 for me. Number 2, since we're kind of getting on that avenue, would be wheels and tires. The stock wheels look great, and you can get that look in an 18 now. So I think it's late model, sells them at an extremely reasonable price. Get a factory looking wheel, an 18, if that's what you're looking for a budget, right off, as budget as you can get, and it looks amazing. I highly recommend that. Doing an 18-inch, factory wheel. Or if you have the funds for it, or you're looking to save and you just are going to run the stock wheels until you get some money put aside, is getting something a little more custom or on the higher end. So this is a custom set of 2-piece wheels I had made. The guy let me design them from start to finish, from the size, the specs, the wheel finish, everything. And this was a company out of Cali, very, very small. And, you know, I paid CCW money on these, and I took a gamble because I was going to order the CCW, the D110s. But nothing against it. I love the wheel. I love that company. And I wanted something that nobody else had. So I stepped away from that, which kind of sucked because I had the money to spend. I waited another 6 months, and I was going back and forth with this guy for about 3 months, and then I landed on this. So I got a one-off set of wheels for the car that I paid up, I think around 11 to 1200 a wheel, which again, you're up in that CCW range, and to me, it fit the car very well. So super happy with that. But suspension, wheels, and tires, 1 and 2, and then you got that. You don't have to touch any body panels on these cars. It's got the front lip, again, the great looking front bumper, the side skirts. What's awesome about these cars is you can just leave the body alone. Lowering it and putting some wheels on it, you're good. So there's some other great options out there. I think the welds look great, CCWs of course, and then you just have those other, other rep wheels. You can run the same lean 18s or whatever, and they look great. So you got 1 and 2. Now 3 is probably, I'd either do that as number 2 or number 3. Is if you have stock exhaust, I would highly recommend a catback. So over the years, I've had, on all the cars, probably 7 or 8 different catbacks until I landed on what I liked. I've liked them all, but this setup I love. This is a 1 7/8" long tube header, 3-inch X pipe, 3-inch Bassani catback out all the way back. So that to me sounds the rawest, the best, and I absolutely love the note of this car. But if you're just looking for a budget sound, a budget build, just do a catback. And this number 2 that I like, which is a little harder probably to get your hands on, is like a first generation SLP catback. That's what I ran on my first Cobra, and I absolutely loved how that car sounded. But you got the Borlas, you got the Bassanis. Flowmaster doesn't sound bad on these, but a catback for me would be number 3. It's just changed because that car over there is just too quiet. It's for being a Mustang, and B for being just like a 0304 Cobra, not just a Mustang itself. The thing is just, it's too quiet. When you're driving that, you don't even know the car's on. Wakes it up a little bit, gives it a good note. So catback for me would be number 3. Number 4 is where it gets a little more fun, and these are still cheap options here. I would do the upper and lower pulley as number 4, and going from around, I think these are 8 pounds of boost stock to about 15, 14, 13, depending on your pulley combo. You're sitting in the mid 400s, mid to upper 400s. Port the blower, you're hitting 5s. Throw a fuel system on there with some E85. Now you're upper to mid 500s. But just doing the pulleys in the front, I think is fantastic. You hear that blower, it winds out, and you get that iconic Terminator just scream by doing that. And it's probably one of my most favorite mods to do on the car. And then, of course, number 5, once you do that, you have to tune it. And I would find the most reputable tuner that you can, because you can get yourself spending a lot more money than you wanted to by fixing stuff if you don't have a solid tuner. So do your homework on that. I drove the car from Florida to the middle of Georgia. It's about a 12-hour ride, somewhere around there, to get the car tuned correctly, because my tuner had retired. I was using Ramsey's out in the Tampa area. Great guy, been building these cars since day one, and extremely reputable, but retired. So I had to find another option, and I am so picky with the car, I wouldn't just let anybody tune it, because you guys know those tuner horror stories where, next thing you know, your motor is toast because you came up in boost and something just wasn't right. So do your homework on that, find a good tuner, and if you have to travel to do it, highly recommend. leave the car where it is and get it done and do it right, so you're not tearing the motor apart and having to rebuild it. If you guys have one of these cars, you're one of the lucky ones, and if you're looking to get one, keep that idea going. And if you just bought one, congratulations, because these cars, I'm telling you, I walk out here in the garage every morning to go to work when I go, and I love it. Just puts a smile on my face that these things are sitting here. It has brought me more friends, and I've met so many people in the community of whether it's the Terminator stuff, Mustang stuff, or just car stuff in general. So this is really, you know, other than just owning it, and I love the car, it's done so much for me in that aspect as well. And I can talk about that for another 30 minutes, but today's video, again, just real quick, I just wanted to touch on what I thought would be your first or best five top modifications on these cars. But let me know what you guys think, comment below. Let me know what you got, what you're getting, maybe some plans for your car. If you agree or disagree, I'm totally on board with the disagreements, and you know, and no hard feelings. We can chat it out, right? But let me know what you guys think. It's Chris. It's SVT Garage. I appreciate the likes, smashing that follow button, and keeping the channel going. We are growing in a positive manner here. I get the notifications from YouTube, you know, every week, so it just tells me everything, and I have to thank all of you guys for that. So again, it's Chris, SVT Garage. Thank you so much, and we'll keep it going, and we'll see you on the next one.